Heretic Legion is 999 ducats, led by a heretic priest who has a machine gun, a sword, a sacrificial blade, grenades, and reinforced armor. We have 2 anointed heavy infantry, one with a semi-automatic rifle, a sword, and a great sword. The second is equipped with the ever-destructive heavy flamethrower. See if we can cause some carnage with that, as well as a sword and a great sword. We have the artillery witch, sure to cause some carnage. She has a trench shield and standard armor. We have 4 heretic troopers with identical loadouts. Each has a semi-automatic rifle, a bayonet lug, and standard armor. And then finally, we have a Warwolf assault beast. Alrighty, so the Defenders of the Iron Wall is led by the Siladar. He has a Siege Jezzail, a sword, a great sword, reinforced armor, alchemical ammunition, and explosive charges. I have 2 Officier Janissaries, each with a Siege Jezzail, 2 swords, standard armor, and alchemical ammunition. I've got 4 Azebs, each with an identical loadout, which is a Jezzail, a Trench Club, God forbid they get into melee combat, standard armor, a medikit, and alchemical ammunition. We have the big old Brazen Bull, wielding a Sultanate Grand Cannon, a Titan Zulfikar. We will see if he can make it into melee combat this time. A Trench Shield and standard armor. And we have 1 Sapper with an Alebazon, Trench Club, and Trench Shield. And then, of course, because we're the Defenders of the Iron Wall, we get 1 emplaced Grand Cannon. So for this scenario, Relic Hunt, we've played it before on the channel, played it a few times, also at meetups. I made a few slight adjustments to it, I think it's a little bit more fun this way. So there's a rule in it, as it is, where no models on 40mm plus size bases can be included. We went ahead and I disregarded this because I wanted the Warwolf to be in there, so it is what it is. And there was also a reinforcements situation in this, so I just got rid of that because oftentimes the way that it's written, the reinforcements come in on the table edge, which means that, in a 4-turn game, they do next to nothing. And because morale often plays a part in these games, and they don't sometimes even go to 4 turns, it means that those reinforcements are kind of useless. So yeah, if any of the developers ever watch any of these, which they probably don't, but my suggestion would be maybe have the reinforcements come in off of like one of the side table edges. It would allow them to be more impactful as they come in. But yeah, in this case, we just ignored it. So yeah, the scenario itself, there are 6 markers on the board, kind of as shown here. These are reliquaries. These are indicated on this board by little cross markers. And pretty much the way it works is at the end of turn 1, 2 of these in opposite corners will disappear. And then after turn 2 is over, the other opposite corners will disappear, meaning that on turn 3 and 4, there's just the center ones that can be scored, and on the final turn, the reliquary markers in the center are each worth 2 VPs instead of just 1. Yeah, so this is a pretty fun one. I kind of like this scenario, with the exception of the reinforcements and the 40mm base size limitation. One other thing that can be kind of wacky about this one that I don't necessarily love, but it does add some chaos, so I'm here for it, is that in order to score these reliquaries, they're not like normal objective markers where you just have to, have one model next to it or within so many inches or even outnumber. It's whoever the first model to be in base to base is with it can roll an action check, and if it's successful, then they claim the VP for the turn, and each one can only be scored once per turn. So It's wacky, because sometimes things don't go as planned, but I think that chaos can actually be pretty enjoyable. Yeah, so I hope you all will enjoy this game, and let's jump into it. Okay, and because we have the explosive charges on the Saladar, I am going to go ahead and nominate this little trench step-up box kind of thing that has the objective on it as the target. So I think that's going to be a juicy target to blow up, since it will be encouraging for the Legion to try to capture it. And I want to point out real quickly, this is a terrain piece I just got off of Etsy, and I freaking love it. It doesn't have the oil washes on it yet, so it'll look prettier once it's all weathered up. But I just think it is such a characterful piece. I love the little face on the jug, and the candles, and the barrels, and the bones, and the skulls. It's just, I love it. So, yeah, not really important to the game that much, but I wanted to show it off. Alrighty, so the first activation is going to go to the Heretic Priest up here on the 3rd floor of this ruin. He has a shot all the way across the way with his machine gun, just at 36 inches, and he can see across the way all the clustered up people by the Grand Cannon. And so he's going to take a shot, try to go for a headshot on one of the Azebs, and then try to take out the second Azeb if he can. Let's see what he can do with the machine gun. He's going to have 3 shots. So he's got a good shot to try to, put some damage in over there, because he's thinking if he can take those Azebs out, maybe that'll force someone else to stick and man that Grand Cannon. So hopefully that will work. And I know you're saying, hey, there's a Janissary right across the way over here in the top right, and so maybe he should try to take him out. But I think right now it's too good of an opportunity to just fire across the way. That Grand Cannon could be an issue, considering it has a pretty clear line of sight on those 2 center objectives. So going to see if we can do some work over there. The first shot is going to be at the Azeb who is on the bridge. It's normally +2 dice to 4d6, but then -1 for cover, -1 for long range. So let's see what we can do. That is an 8, which will hit, so off to a good start. And yeah, we are looking at just a -1. So 5 to 4 is just going to be a blood marker. So we'll put the second shot right into that same guy. And a 6 will miss. Uh-oh. And the third shot, a 6 will miss again. Ouch. Okay, so not a great start for the Heretic Priest, but maybe his machine gun will warm. First activation for the Sultanate is going to be this Siege Jezzail Janissary right across the way. He's going to try to return fire, and he's actually going to try to shoot the Artillery Witch instead of the Heretic Priest. So here's that roll coming up. Okay, so here's the roll. It's +1 ranged, plus alchemical ammunition, which is going to take it to 4 dice, but then long range and cover. So here is 2d6 to hit against the Artillery Witch. And that will do it with an 8. So the injury roll is +1 dice because of the Siege Jezzail. And here comes the roll at -2. So that's an 8. So -2 is going to take it to a 6. So that's just going to be a blood mark. The Artillery Witch is going to try to pop back and take a shot again across the way onto the bridge. Try to hit that Azeb over there. This is 2d6. And let's see. Yeah, so it's 2d6 to hit, but I am going to spend that blood marker to try to make it 3d6, take the lowest. Wow, okay, so that's going to be a 3, so it's going to scatter 4 inches in the direction chosen by the Sultanate, so that's not going to hit anyone. Alrighty, so over here we're going to have this other Janissary with the Siege Jezzail take a shot across the way at the Anointed with the Heavy Flamer. And so we will see how that turns out. So once again, we are up to 46 for the Siege Jezzail and the Alchemical Ammunition and the Janissary, but down again for cover and long range. So 2d6 to hit. That is a 9, so that's going to do it. And then we're going to have a 3d6 on the injury, looking at -2 for the reinforced armor. So a 10 -2 to an 8 is going to be a knockdown. Okay, back over here, we're going to have this Anointed who did not just get shot. He's going to get out of line of sight because he's looking across the way at that Grand Cannon. So he's going to make a move action. He's going to come about 2 inches, come up an inch, then go 3 more up here against the wall. Then he's going to try to make a dash action. Gets it with a 10. So a 10. For now, I think he's going to pop up here. He's going to go up 2, and then go 4, and kind of tuck in here in the corner. Get ready for a little bit of a gank, perhaps. The Bull, activate. He's going to move up, let's say, 6 inches. Over to here. And I think for right now, yeah, for right now he's just going to stay right where he's at. Alrighty, so this fella over here, down hiding, is going to go ahead and move up 6. Oops, let me knock everything over maybe. Move up 6. And then he's going to try to dash up onto the objective. He gets a 7, so he's good. He's going to pop up here. Try to get a little bit of cover. And he's going to take a long-range shot at that Siege Jezzail. So he's going to be looking for 3d6, take the lowest. So long shot, but why not? Actually, no, that's 4d6, take the lowest. It's long range and cover. Yeah, definitely not going to do it with a 3. All right, the Sapper over here is just going to move right up onto this central objective. Something like that. So yeah, that's going to be a tricky spot for him to be on because he might not realize that there is an Anointed directly above him, waiting to death from above onto him. But if he can score some sweet victory points this turn, then maybe his life is worth spending. All right, so this little trooper down here, you might notice also they have really cool camo done on their hair, on their helmets. It's a great touch by Johnny. He's going to try to move, so he's going to go 2 up. He's going to go 4 up. And then he's going to try to dash. Let's roll it right here. That is an 8, so he's going to go 6 forward. I think that's going to put him in range of this central objective. All right, this pair of Azabs, one of them is going to start by moving. He's just going to come up here onto the objective. And he's going to try to dash just because why not? And he will. And he's just going to use that to tuck himself in here a little bit. And then he's going to take a shot. He's going to take a shot because why not? Over at the trooper who just moved over onto that objective. With his Jezzail with alchemical ammunition, he is a +1 dice, but then that gets negated for long range, so just 2 dice to hit. I'll roll this one into the thing. Okay, a 7, great. He will hit, and here comes the roll with a... Let me double check if they have armor real quick. They do in fact have standard armor, so this is just going to be -1. A 9, alright, that would have been an out of action, but it is not an out of action, it is just a knockdown because of the armor. This Heretic Trooper is going to move up, and then he's going to come up to here. He's going to try to dash, get on that objective. Wow, and he fails with a 4. That's awesome. Okay, so it's going to be they may not score that objective. All right, the other Azeb is going to cruise on up as well. Something like that. He is going to try to dash. I'll just roll it right here. Wow, devastating with that, but that's boxcar, so he makes it. And I think he's going to come up to just right here. And he's going to try to take a shot up at that Heretic Trooper. And he's within half range. Uh-oh, this could be bad for our knockdown Heretic Legionnaire. Okay, so he has alchemical ammunition, so +1, and then half range. So he's just going to be rolling 3d6. All right, so he is going to be rolling 3d6 here. Wow, almost a crit. Terrific shooting from our buddy. He's going to spend the blood marker to make it 46 because of the knockdown. Get rid of that. That's a 9, but -1 is going to be an 8. So, right back to where he started. We'll knock down. Actually, no, not right back to where he started. He gets an extra blood marker because he's already knocked down. So, yeah, he'll be sitting on 2 blood. Close, but no cigar. Okay, so this gentleman down here is going to get up. He's going to move 3 inches. And he is going to try to dash. He does get the dash. He's going to go 1 up, 2 forward. I don't know if that's going to put him close enough to score the objective, though. Let me double check how far you have to be to score it. Okay, so slight misplay on my part. It looks like in this scenario, you have to actually be base to base with the reliquaries and do an action to flip them, to score them. It's not like a within so many inches you hold it. So that's why we like to read the scenarios, ladies and gentlemen. But since we're still so early in the game, I'm just going to remedy that real quick by making some slight adjustments. So I'm going to take you around the board to show you. The first, right here, this guy can remedy it just by touching the objective like this. Here's going to be his roll to see if he is able to do it. And he does. He gets a 3 and a 4. So he will be scoring this one. All right, this gentleman over here. Let's see his roll to see if he's scoring this one. That looks like a 3, which will not do it, so he will not be scoring that one. And this guy right here, the Sapper in the middle, let's see his roll. He will be scoring that one. Okay, and last is the Brazen Bull right here. Let's see if he's scoring it. He is scoring that one. Okie dokie. So we are going to have this Azeb right here. He's going to try to fire the... Actually, he has a blood, so maybe he won't be the one trying to fire the cannon. Maybe we'll activate this Azeb right here. He's just going to come over a little bit. He's going to try to fire the cannon. He's going to try to fire it over there at that Anointed who has the blood marker on him. Heavy flamethrower guy. So here's going to be the roll. Okay, so the Azeb is straight up, no bonuses. He is within half range, and the Anointed does not have cover. So we're just looking at a flat 2d6. Well, yeah, there you go. That's what you like to see if you're the Sultanate. That is an 8, so that hits. It's going to be +2 injury dice because of that glorious, glorious grand cannon. And he's going to spend the blood marker, so he's going to be rolling 5d6. Oh, and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is a boxcar, and that is going to take that Anointed out of action, which will be our first blood of the game. All right, so now we are moving on to the Warwolf. I was really tempted to try to bring him up over here to this objective where the trooper couldn't get to, the center objective, to get to one of those two because he's so fast. He's speed 8, ignores movement penalties, and gets +2 dice to dash. But I'm just really nervous that if I put him there out in the open, that with all the Sultanate shooting, that he will get blown up before he gets a chance to have an impact. So I think that the right move is actually to move him over to the left flank where the Anointed just got blown up, because we're going to need some backup over there, I think. So he is going to move 8 inches. I think he ignores... You know what? I actually don't think his thing where he ignores movement penalties from difficult terrain ignores like moving up and down like trenches. So I'm going to still factor in that movement. But if I'm wrong, tell me in the comment section. So he's going to go up 2. He's going to go 2 again. And then he's going to go 1. So that's 5. And then he's going to go 3. So he's just going to come over here like this. Actually, he's got to come out here because I forgot you have to touch this one. So, cool. So if he gets his dash, which is 4d6, so I'm fairly certain he will, but you never know. Dice will dice sometimes. Let's see if you can make the dash. Yeah, he definitely can. So he's just going to cruise on over here behind the cover. And then he's going to try to roll for the reliquary. Wow, and a 6, he does not get it. Yucks, I guess that's because he has like a chainsaw head. Okay, so this Azeb down here with the blood marker is going to take a long range shot at the Warwolf, who is in cover. So that's going to go from 3d6 with alchemical ammunition, down 1 for cover, down 1 for long range, to 3d6. Take the lowest. So here's that roll. Yeah, that's a 3, so that will miss. As expected, but you gotta kind of take the shot. What was it? Michael Scott, Wayne Gretzky? You miss 99% of the shots you don't take? And this little fella down here, I think he's gonna try to just cruise on up. And he's gonna try to dash. Nope, he doesn't get it, so he will end right there as well. All right, so we are going to have the Syladar, and he is going to jump on down like a damn hero, ladies and gentlemen, with his large-breasted bird. There you go, now you can actually see him. And he is going to take a shot up at the Warwolf. A couple slight retcons here. I forgot that I need to try to blow up that terrain piece over there that the Heretic Trooper is standing on, the objective with the reliquary. So yeah, here's going to be that injury roll on him. So this is just going to be -1. A 6, yeah, it's not that good. So a 5 is just going to be a blood marker on him. Okay, and here is that trooper after this pillbox explodes and he comes down a little bit bloody, but none the worse for wear. Take the shot at the Warwolf. He is in cover, but I have so many bonuses with the Syladar. He's +2 ranged, and I need to get the tough off of that Warwolf so that he is lighter work for my guys in future turns. So yeah, here's going to be the shot on him. Instead of 4d6, actually instead of 5d6, because the alchemical Siege Giselle, it's going to go down to 4d6. So here's that 4d6 roll. Wow! I'm going to just move the camera a little bit so you can see that. That's a 5-1-2-1. So that barely hits. Wow, here I was hoping I would get the crit, and instead, that's not quite a crit, guys. That's barely a hit, but, you know, barely is still a hit in this game. So now we've got 2d6 +1 to injure, so 3d6 -3, because he is heavily armored. So 3d6. Whoo, an 11. Dang, man. So an 11 -3 is actually an 8. So he's just knocked down. Dang, I was so close to getting him on that. That's okay, though. So he will be knocked down. He will get a blood marker. So he will be closer to death and destruction. But, wow, that's tough for the Syladar. And I think to end it, the Syladar is going to try to make a dash action, because why not? That's a 4, so no, he doesn't want to dash at all. He wants to stay right there by that lovely, lovely statue. Okay, so not an incredibly bloody turn, but a little bit of blood. We got an anointed out of there. But yeah, we are going to be removing some, because at the end of turn 1, we remove 2 objectives, and that is this objective here. So that one is gone. This other corner objective, that will also be removed after turn 1. And at the end of turn 2, the other objectives on that are non-central will be going away as well. So we're going to come back right into turn 2 with the Warwolf. Because he is knocked down, and I definitely don't need the... there's just so much firepower on this left-hand flank if you are the Sultanate, so I can't have him be knocked down and have a blood marker on him. So I'm going to need to go with him. So his first thing he's going to do is going to be to get up. He is going to try to charge, I think. About 8 inches away, so he needs to get within an inch, so 7. So that means he's going to need a 3 or higher to get there. He does get it with the 5, so he does have the range, but he is going to have to do a diving charge. So that means that he is going to... man, I don't know what this means. If the Warwolf ignores movement penalties caused by difficult terrain, I wonder if that means that he ignores the difficulties for diving charge. I'm going to go ahead and say no. So it's going to be 2d6. Obviously, the Iron Sultanate would spend the 1 blood on this to make it a 3d6, take the lowest. So here we go. We're going to be looking for 3d6, take the lowest on this really, really clutch, pivotal, you could say, diving charge. Wow, and he pulls it off. That is a 5-5-2, so he does get the diving charge. Wow, that's brutally awesome. You'll love to see it. That's crazy. All right, well, we're going to come in with the combat on that, and let's see how that exactly works. So remembering that the bull is tough, so this is going to be +2 dice for the melee, and +1 dice for the chainmaw, so that's 5d, and then +1 dice because our friend here is also doing a diving charge. So yeah, we're gonna have a whole bucket of dice. This does ignore arbor. So let's see what we can get here. So no crit, but definitely a hit. It's just far flying colors. So this ignores armor, but it is -1 dice because of the tackling creature thing for the bull. So this is going to be +1 dice, -1 dice, and then +1 dice for the diving charge. So we are looking at 3d6, ignore armor. Whoa! All right, so that is going to pop the tough. So that's going to make him knock down instead of just out of action. So knock down. I believe that gives him a blood as well, but let me read the wording on tough real quick. Yeah, I don't think it gets the blood still. I think it's just knocked down. So, yep, so he's just knocked down. All right, but here is going to be the clutch one, the Shredding Claws. So the Shredding Claws are 4d6 to hit, +1 for the diving charge, so 5d6. And here's the roll to hit. That is going to be a hit for sure. And then here is going to be a wound roll coming up. Injury roll. That is not wound. Injury roll. +1 dice to injure. -1 because of the attack wind creature. So +1, -1 to 2. And then the diving charge for 3. Knock down for 4. This one doesn't ignore armor, so it's going to be -2 on the armor. Wow. Woo-wee. That is lucky for the bull. We're just one off, so that's going to take him to an 8. So that is a knockdown. He's already knocked down, so he's going to get 2 blood. But he lives, which could be bad news for the Warwolf, who is also still has his tough. So let's see what happens when we go over to the Sultanate. A lot of good options for them. So I think our buddy the Siladar is going to activate. He's going to come to the aid of his giant bull buddy. He is going to try to charge into the Warwolf. 4 will get him there. He's going to come around like so. And let's see here. We'll come more like this. And okay, so the Saladar first has a great sword. Great sword is +1, or he's base +2 dice for melee. So +2 dice is gonna be 4 dice with the great sword. So 4 dice to hit. Here we go. And that is gonna be a hit with a 9. So we've got a hit to start things off, and then we've got +1 dice for the great sword, so just 3d6 and -3 because this boy is heavily armored, and nothing special on this because, as a note, in the Defenders of the Iron Wall, the Siladar is different than the base Uzbazi captain. He gains strong, which is cool, but he also loses his I'm spacing on whatever the skill is that gives him bonuses for fighting tough things. But he loses that. So here we go. We got 3d6 to hit, to wound against the Warwolf. Wow, so that's just a 3. Ouch, that is just gonna be a single blood marker. That's not what you wanna see if you are the Sultanate. But that is the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. So that is a single blood marker. And we have coming up one more sword attack. Because he's strong, he can carry the great sword and a regular sword and fight with those like a real champ. So here's 46. Trying to hit him with 46. Actually 3d6. Whoa, I caught it before I threw it. I hope you guys are proud of me. You guys are very good at pointing out all the mistakes I make, but I do learn sometimes. Maybe. So here's 3d6 because the offhand attack. And that is a hit. You can't see it because the angle, but yeah, 6, 4, 3. So that's a hit. And then we are going to be just 2d6. We're going to spend the blood, make it 3d6, because why not? Here's 3d6. Wow, that's not very good. That's a 6, and that's back to just a single blood marker. Wow, buddy, that is quite a whiff. Whew. He could not even knock him down out of action in one. Brings us back over here, and our artillery witch, right over here, is going to fire all the way across the way at that Azeb again, and he has a blood marker on him as well, so going to try to make some hurt over there. So the artillery witch is 2d6 always with her bomb shot. So here's 2d6. And a 10 will hit, which is fantastic news. So here is the 3d6. Combine them. She's gonna spend the blood. It's gonna be 46. Take the 3 highest and combine them on that Azeb. So that will take that Azeb out of action. And then here is the shot onto the splash damage onto the Janissary. The cannon, I don't think can actually be hurt. I think it's just a stationary thing. The Janissary, I think -1. Wow, a 10 is a 9, and that's gonna take out that Janissary. Well, that is much better than the last turn where she just scattered away. Alrighty, and in one fell swoop, this flank got evened out quite a bit thanks to the artillery witch. That was pretty cool, actually. I think it was like, she saw, that was pretty cool, actually. She saw the Grand Cannon over there, and she said, I can match your artillery with my infernal artillery. Okay, no more evil laughs this game, I promise. Okay, so we have once again our Siege Janissary. He's going to try to fire at the Heretic Priest before the Heretic Priest gets a chance to bomb someone with his machine gun, or many someones, as a matter of fact. Though I don't know that anyone is actually within 6 inches that he can really see right now, so he might just be unloading on one person. But still, that's not ideal either. So he's going to take a shot. He is, let me double check what exactly the Siege Janissary setup is. Also, I need to remember that the Heretic Priest has tough. Also, I need to remember that the Heretic Priest has Puppet Master, where he can move models, which is going to be useful for getting on the objectives. So I will be taking advantage of that as well. But let me double check our Siege Janissary here. He is +1 dice. So 3d6, alchemical ammunition of 4d6, long range and cover takes him back to 2d6. So here's a 2d6 shot at the Heretic Priest. And that is exactly what you like to see. Only thing better would have been the boxcars, but we will take a 7, you know that. So that's going to be 3d6. Let me double check the armor. I know I was just looking at this, but bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so 3d6 minus 2. Ooh, that is a 6, and a 5. So that is going to be a 9, which is an out of action. Thankfully, the Heretic Priest is tough, but knocking that tough off is kind of interesting. I think so after something like that, the Heretic Priest needs to get up and fire back. So the Heretic Priest is 46, but we are long range, and Janissary is in cover, so I'm gonna try to take 3 machine gun shots at him. Here's the first one. Whew, 3 will not do it. Luckily, he can fire twice more. An 8 will do it, and -1. Oh, dang, gotta roll it in the tray. All right, let's try it again. Oh, I think that's an out of action. Yeah, that is. -1 is going to be a 9, so that will out of action that Janissary, which is great. He takes a shot and gets back up and just unloads with his machine gun. How cool is that? Yeah, and his last shot will go to nothing because there's nothing within 6 inches of that Janissary. So not bad, guys. So I just noticed that I bumped that Heretic Trooper right here's blood marker to 2, so I just moved that back to 1. Alrighty, so the Grand Cannon, tempting to just fire that thing right into the Warwolf, but yeah, we've got 2 guys in combat with him, so not probably the best idea. So I'm just going to fire that Grand Cannon across the way at that Heretic Trooper. This is just going to be 2d6, so here's going to be that roll. Alright, so 2d6 to try to hit this Heretic Trooper right here. A 5. Big shot and a big miss. Alright, so this might be a bit of a wacky move, but I'm going to go ahead and do it, ladies and gentlemen. This Heretic Trooper is going to move up into cover here. He is going to try to take a shot at the big bull into that combat. You know, it's a messy melee, so there's a chance that I will hit my own guy, which is always a problem, but you never know. So we're going to be looking at 2d6 to hit here and see if it even hits the bull. A 5. I don't think that does hit. So, doesn't hit anyone. Great job, Trooper. Alrighty, so I probably messed up the order of activations here, but the bull is finally going to go. And this is the first time he's ever swung with his Titan Zulfi card, any game I've played with him, so it's going to have to go wonderfully, right? Isn't that how these things go? Yeah, so he's going to have 46. You know, first thing he's going to do is obviously get up, but the Heretic Legion is going to spend his 2 blood markers to make it just a 2d6 instead of a 4d6, because yeah, who wouldn't do that? That sounds a lot better. So yeah, here we go. Here's going to be 2d6 to hit. All right, well, to make it dramatic, ladies and gentlemen, that is a 2. And that is a 5. All right, so he pulls it out. You know, it's always dramatic here when a dice rolls off the table and I don't use the dice tray like I should. But You know, sometimes I like to just keep the camera focused on the action instead of bouncing over the dice tray. So, you know, we do what we can. So that will be a hit. His Titan Zulfikar adds +2 to the result of all injuries caused by this weapon, which is awesome. Unfortunately, it doesn't add any extra dice. Okay, it's strange for a Titan Zulfikar wielded by a bull the size of a small ice cream truck, but okay. So it's +2 to the result. The Warwolf is -3 for him being heavily armored. So this is going to be just a -1. Oh! Sapow! Hits him with an 11, goes to a 10. That will out of action, but he is tough, ladies and gentlemen. So now in a bout for the ages, both of these suckers have lost their tough, and the Warwolf is now knocked down as well. How the turntables turn. And I should have done this much sooner in the order, but it won't affect things too much. And yeah, I am just going to give myself a little bit of grace here because I am very new to playing these Heretic Legion. So I'm gonna do the Puppet Master on this guy here to help him get moving up. And he will, so he's gonna come up here 6 and just kind of tuck in here. Okay, so I've almost forgotten about him, but how could I do that to my sweet boy? Yes, we have one anointed heavy infantry hiding up here, ready to rain sweet hell upon this poor Sapper below. So he is gonna try. The question is, do I just try to dash, come down, and then charge him, or do I try to do the diving charge? I think the answer is that I just do the regular one. I think it's overkill to try to do the diving charge on him. So yeah, I'm gonna try to do a dash, especially because it would be risky because I can't currently see him because of my positioning. So here's the dash, 2d6. Yep, that will do it with a 7, so exactly what he needs. That is swell. So here is his dash. He's gonna just come on down here. Like so. He is going to try to flip the reliquary. Flip the reliquary. He gets it, so that will be points. Excellent. I'll just put that there. He's going to try to charge pretty much any distance to get him there. Oh yeah, he's going 12 inches. This poor Sapper. But I guess that's what happens when you are anointed. Also, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, if I'm coughing a little bit or sniffling. I'm getting over a cold, so apologies. Okay. Let's get into it with the Great Sword first. This is another strong, anointed, heavy infantry. Just another strong, this is a table full of strong keyword models. You know I love that combination with the Great Sword and the offhand sword. So that is exactly what we have here. Though, in this case, it looks like he's modeled with a Great Axe. So let's call it a Great Axe. There's no difference between a Great Axe and a Great Sword in this game, so just as a quick note. But the Anointed is +1 melee, so we're going to be rolling 3d6. And 3d6 with the Great Sword coming up. Yes, that is a 10, and that will do it. Great Axe. Why did I call it a Great Sword? Creature of habit, I guess. So it's +1 dice for the injury, so 3d6, -1 because the Sapper has no armor, but he does have a trench shield, as is modeled on him. And yeah, that's a freaking amazing roll, so he won't even need the offhand shot. He is just going to be over here like a real monster with an 11, so that's going to out of action this Sapper. Also, I know I promised no more evil laughs, but you know what happens when an anointed one-shots a Sapper with a Great Axe on this channel. That's right, an evil laugh. Mwahahaha! Mojo Jojo! And ladies and gentlemen, we do still have a bolt-action rifle. a semi-automatic rifle on this fella, which does have the assault keyword, so I think he can fire it even after charging. So let's have him also take a shot. Gosh, this could be bad if he misses. But I'm point blank, so I'm gonna try. And I'm also elevated, so what's that make me, like 3d6? +1 for range, so 4d6. I think I like my odds. I'm gonna try to fire into the... You know what? No, I'm not gonna fire into the combat. I'm gonna just fire into this Azeb who's up here on the Grand Cannon, because hey, if that Grand Cannon's not manned anymore, that's pretty sweet. So let's fire up into him with the semi-automatic rifle, +1, so 3d6. Here we go. That'll hit with an 8, just 2d6. So 2d6 -1. That's a 9. It's close to taking him out of action, but no cigar. So that is just gonna be a knockdown on this boy up here. So we'll put a knockdown token on that Azeb. And down he goes. So I think all that's remaining for turn 2 is we have 2 Azebs down here. And we have 3 actually Heretic Troopers. So this one who's been knocked down and really getting the crap kicked out of him is gonna stand up, and he is gonna try to take a shot down here at this Azeb. So he's gonna be 2d6, but he's gonna go +1 for being elevated, so 3d6. I'm gonna spend 1 of these blood markers off of him to bring it to just a regular flat 2d6. And he misses, so that is that. And then he's gonna move on to the objective and try to score it. But at the same time, I'm gonna spend 1 more to make it 3d6, take the lowest for him to do that. Yeah, and that is a 1-1 and a 4, so he will not have any success with scoring that reliquary. I think that we don't want them to score it, so he is gonna, this guy down here who just got shot at is gonna move 2, up 2, and then 2 more. It's gonna become something like this. Oh, he's gonna fall to his death. No, just kidding, that's not how that works. Move 2 like that. He's gonna try to take a shot at this guy point blank. And he's gonna be rolling 3d6. Well, that's only 2d6. So there it is. That hits with a 6 and a 2 for a 6 and a 3 is a 9. So 2d6 -1. That's a 6 to a 5 is gonna be a blood marker. So the blood marker returns on this guy. He is gonna try to dash to an 8. Jeez. See if I can roll it on the camera. So that's an 8, so his dash is successful. He's gonna dash onto the objective marker, but not in base to base because he killed the other charge, and try to flip the reliquary. No, he gets a 6. So he does not. These guys just cannot get this reliquary over. One more guy hiding down here. He's gonna pop up onto the objective as well, like so. He is gonna try to flip the reliquary. Wow, he gets a 3. These guys can't for the life of them get this central reliquary marker. They don't want victory points, it seems, and that's okay. So he's gonna take a shot point blank at this Azeb. He can do that. He was built to kill, it sounds like. And -1. And he was indeed built to kill. Out goes this Azeb. Which gives us something that looks like this on that objective that no one can seem to score. We still have 1 Azeb and 1 Heretic Trooper. So we have an Azeb over here. Hiding. But he is gonna try to come, I think this way. And then he's gonna try to dash. And that'll do it. Even though I rolled the wrong dice. I tried not to do that, guys, you know I do. But in this case, I goofed it. And he's gonna come over here. Let's get touch this reliquary marker. Then he's gonna try. I don't know why this guy down here didn't just try to cap this one first. I kind of forgot about him. That's probably a boo-boo by me. But we'll see if it matters. Let's see if he can cap it. He does indeed cap it. Wow. So he caps it, and now he's gonna try to take a shot. And I will actually try to roll the right dice because it matters to me. No one else, but it does matter to me. Actually, maybe it matters to somebody. It probably does make it easier to follow if I stick to that. But let's see. So here's the 3d6 on his shot. Alchemical ammunition hits with an 11. And then we're looking at 2d6 to injure. Minus 1. No. But I'm going to spend the blood. So I have 1, which just makes it a 6. So it'll just bounce that blood right back on. And we may as well have this guy right here try to yeah, he'll just try to fire back. So 2d6. That's a hit. Let's say he would have spent the blood. Anyways, I should have probably said that before, but whatever. So a 5 means he will miss. And then he's going to dash because that objective is going to be gone next turn. Actually, he's going to move. First. And then he's going to try to dash. No, Snake Eyes. He will stay right there. And that is the end of the turn, I'm pretty sure. All right, so here's what the board looks like after turn 2. This flank got mopped up pretty good. We've got still some heavy firepower in here. Just 1 Azep remaining down here. A ton of Heretic troopers swarming the objectives. Over here, got quite a pickle here where both the big monsters have lost their tough. And we'll kind of see how this all shakes out. But let me check because I think we might have a morale check coming up. Okay, so yeah, it looks like we do in fact have a morale check coming up because the Sultanate have lost 5 models and they also have an Azeb knockdown. So here is going to be that morale check. I don't know how much worse you could fail it than a 2. And so the Sultanate fails and they will run away. Crazy. And that will be the end of this game. So I will come back in a second with some thoughts. So that was a really fun game. Really interesting being the first one I've played with the Heretic Legion. Man, they seem pretty strong. I mean, the Warwolf was so damn tanky in there, taking on not only the Bull, but also the Siladar, plus all kinds of crazy shooting, and he just held that flank. That was very impressive. Meanwhile, the Grunts, the Heretic Troopers, they did pretty good just running around scoring objectives, as Grunts tend to do. The Artillery Witch, man, she's so scary, and the Priest, I think giving him the machine gun was kind of interesting. Initially, I thought, you get him running around in melee because of the sacrificial knife, but, I mean, not bad as a gun platform either. Just commanding people around with the Puppet Master. So pretty interesting. I definitely enjoyed testing them out. Thank you, Johnny, for letting me borrow them so we can get them on the channel. I know someone was asking about when the Heretic Legion will be back on the channel. So if you are that person, I hope you enjoyed this game and it was brightened your day up to see the Heretic Legion on the board. Yeah, this was a really fun one. The Defenders of the Wall continues to be really fun. That cannon and just the amount of firepower they can have is so awesome. Plus just the Brazen Bull, I think, in there to give them a little bit of tankiness and melee threat is pretty cool. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. More coming up soon. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe and like. I know it sounds dumb and all the YouTubers say that, but it actually does make a difference. And just like the algorithm and, getting these videos to be seen by more people who are looking for them. So yeah, appreciate you all. Hope you're having a great week and we'll catch you next time.